Okay, so 104, we can call to order May 12th, the May meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust of Easton. Thank you everyone for joining. So did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes from, right, was it March? March 4th.
March 4th.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone want to make a motion to approve them? Can I make a motion?
So
I'll
moved.
make a motion to approve them.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, Sam 1, Nikki 2, motion to approve the March meeting minutes.
And all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Chuck, aye.
Chuck.
Oh, that's right, we're supposed to do it roll call, aren't we?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Is that like a chat thing or?
I think it's to make sure that with the remote meetings, it's properly documented. So what's the best way to do it so we're not talking over each other? Should I just call on people and then you could say your name and?
Oh, I see.
Maybe that would make sense. So Amy, and you could say Rodriguez.
Okay. Amy Rodriguez, aye.
Sam.
Samantha Hill, aye.
Nikki.
Nikki D'Stumian, aye.
Chris Ann.
Van Cheedy, aye.
Stephanie.
Stephanie Alves, aye.
And Chuck.
Chuck King, aye.
Thanks.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Next, we got the Housing Authority Replacement Unit Grant update.
Okay, that's very quick. You may remember that at the last meeting, the Affordable Housing Trust reauthorized and revoted the matching grant for the Housing Authority's Replacement Unit grant from the state up to $95,000. The Housing Authority reached out to me and let me know that they have an accepted offer and are moving towards a P&S and closing on a replacement unit. It's a 3-bedroom house in very good condition for $435,000 on Eisenhower Drive. And they will be using $88,569 from our grant. So that is the update.
Awesome. Good neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a really sweet house in really good condition, a really nice family unit. So it's great that worked out.
Awesome. So that's all squared away?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not solid yet.
I'm sorry?
It's not solid yet, but it's getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, my understanding is it's the accepted offer. They're still getting the purchase and sale done. I've started the getting the money from the trust to the housing authority, but we still need some more documentation like a purchase and sale for then Nikki.
An appraisal and a home inspection and all that stuff's kind of still in the works.
I heard that the inspection has been done and
yes.
Good. Yeah. So I think almost all the due diligence is done, but we're waiting for some more paperwork to actually transfer the money and for them to move to closing. And they're using the same attorney that they have used and we have used on a few other projects. The folks over in Sharon, Point. So, yeah. So folks may remember those folks.
Yep. Great. What's the timeline on that? Just as it happens.
I don't know, month-ish.
Yeah. Do we need? I mean, I'll just be on hand if you need anything.
Thank you. Yeah. It's all probably going to be remote, and it'll, I suspect, just be your remote signature on the check request or the wire request.
Okay. Very good. Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Morse Road update. Morse Road and Quantico update together.
Yes, so the Morse Road update, you may remember we were heading towards acquisition just before the emergency hit. That actually did happen. The closing happened, I want to say Monday or Tuesday, like March 16, I think. So we do in fact own 10 Morse Road. And of course, we continue to own 26 Pequannock. I have not issued the RFP yet because I want to make sure that we have a good opportunity to talk with the some other folks in town, because as you remember, there's strong interest from the Affordable Housing Trust on seeing if we can have one or both parcels get a special permit as a two-family. And that, of course, is a special permit from the planning board. The planning board. And we want to make sure that we have these conversations so that we put out the RFP for a nonprofit developer to respond that's accurate and they can actually respond to it. And an additional piece of information, 26 Pequannock is, of course, in extremely poor condition and needs to be demolished. But because it is a slightly undersized lot, it is not zoning compliant. So a voluntary demolition, then you need variances in order to build a new house there. So you need to get everything approved before you demolish. Therefore, we're going to just offer it for the nonprofit developer who acquires it to actually do the demolition so that they can get it permitted for whatever they're building without it being weird. And also, I could not get any responses from the demolition contractor anyway.
Works.
So you may remember our previous discussion had been offering a grant of 30 grand towards site engineering and development costs at 10 Morse, and also 30 grand for site engineering development costs at 26 Pequannock. Given the demolition need, I wanted to see if folks were receptive to upping that to say 10 grand for Pequannock, since they'll have to do the demolition as well.
Yep. I think that's reasonable.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree.
cool, thank you. Great.
Do we need to vote on that or anything to or
I don't know that we definitely need a vote at this point.
okay.
Maybe it would be prudent, since we're all here, to vote to offer a 30,000 grant for 10 Morse and a 40,000 grant for 26 Pequannock with the RFP.
What's the 10 for Morse?
The additional, I'm sorry, the 30, did I say that wrong? The
I
30
think
grand
10
for 10 Morse and
30
40
grand.
grand for 26 Pequannock.
Yes. Okay. Got you. I think I just heard it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
If we have a motion and a second, maybe?
oh, I'll second it then. Yep.
And who motioned?
Well, I was going to motion, but I didn't say it. I was.
Motion.
Thank you.
Is it a motion to
A motion
Or-
to offer
offer a $30,000 grant
30,000 grant for 10
for
more.
site work? Yep. For
and a
10
40,000
Morse
grant for 26 Pequannock.
to include demo and site work.
Yeah.
Okay. And do a roll call.
Yeah, actually, correct. So Amy,
You're muted.
You're muted again.
Amy Rodriguez, aye.
thanks. Sam,
Samantha Hill, aye.
Nikki,
Nikki D'Souza and I.
Chris Ann,
Christine Sheedy, aye.
Chuck,
Chuck King, aye.
and Stephanie.
Stephanie Alves, aye.
Thanks. Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
We go on to 300 Foundry.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
300 Foundry, there's no huge updates actually. Folks remember that BAMC acquired it at the end of 2019. They've been working on permitting. It's a natural heritage endangered species habitat, so they have to go through the process with NHESP and then with the Conservation Commission. They got a determination from NHESP that yes, the roughly 1.5 acres that they're going to be disturbing will impact an HESP habitat, which then kicks it to the Conservation Commission to review. And the way it plays out from here is you have to demonstrate, if you're going to develop it, you have to demonstrate what you're doing to safeguard and conserve natural heritage endangered species habitat. And this project will be to conserve the remainder of the 15.5-acre site, to engineer the wetlands crossing for the driveway, to allow migration of endangered species, and other conservation measures like that. The land use agent for the town does not anticipate any issues with the Conservation Commission, and the initial read from the state and HESP is that they're also open to that approach as well. So this is something that's going to unfold over the next few months, but it is moving ahead. So that's the update we have.
Very good. All right. Nothing, no action
No.
on our part. Okay. All right. Emergency rental assistance program and funding.
Okay, so Nikki and I have been exploring over the last several weeks how we might be able to offer emergency rental assistance for income qualified renters. And this has also been talked about quite a lot statewide with various other affordable housing trusts, with nonprofits, with state entities. It's also of very strong interest from Easton's town government, from the select board and town administrators. And using CPA funds, so I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but using CPA funds, you actually need an authorization at town meeting. So we cannot actually use CPA funds at this moment. But again, moving ahead of myself, we are, I would like this group to ask the CPC to consider allocating funds, and the CPC is meeting next Tuesday, in fact, to consider that for the Springtown meeting. But backing up, the Affordable Housing Trust, as you know, almost all of the Affordable Housing Trust funds are already allocated or escrowed or appropriated or dedicated to existing projects. However, we have, I think, comfortably $80,000 still in, there's a line item towards the top of our budget. It's called the carry forward account. It's got, I think, 119,000 at the moment. Some of that we prudently would want to hold in reserve for some of our other projects, but I think we could comfortably use about $80,000 from that to immediately fund a rental assistance grant program. Nikki and I researched and reached out to various entities, and we think the entity which could offer this quickly and accurately would be Metro West Collaborative. There's quite a lot to offering this. You have to have the application, you have to accept and qualify applicants, you have to run a lottery, which I am not qualified to do. You have to make the grants, you have to set up an agreement with a landlord. You have to process tax papers for the landlord. You have to make payments to them. You have to be able to accommodate folks who don't speak English. So there's a whole lot of detail that I don't think that we can offer in-house. And guidance from the state and the statewide nonprofit Massachusetts Housing Partnership is that trusts that are interested in offering this are very strongly advised to work with a qualified nonprofit or entity or consultant to actually run such a program. So Nikki and I had a really good conversation with Metro West Collaborative about a week and a half ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very interested in doing this. They have template documents that I distributed to the group ahead of this meeting. And essentially it would, the details would be that we would offer roughly half a month's rent based on the affordable rents at Avalon, which is, I think, is a rough guide for what an affordable rent is in Easton. So for, you know, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, so grants could be 800 for a 1 bedroom, 900 for a 2 bedroom, 1,000 for a 3 bedroom. These have to be, for various technical and legal reasons, can't be a permanent thing. You can only offer them for a short period. Most programs contemplate doing it for about 3 months and then reevaluating. The administrative fee would be $450 for each household that's actually served, a one-time fee. And I think I mentioned it would run about 3 months. And so calculating it all, we believe that we could serve about 25 or more households for about 3 months in Easton with the 80 grand, and could start advertising it in, you know, the end of May, June-ish, and hopefully make grants as early as July 1. So that's the sort of concept that Nikki and I have discussed. So yeah, do we have questions? Or I think Chris Ann was, yeah, Chris Ann?
Yeah. So you said Metro West is going to earn $450 for administering the program?
Per each household, yeah. So it's, I think, like 11 or 12%, I think, as an administrative fee.
And is
Other
that
places,
what they're suggesting, or is that what is part of the program? That's what they're allowed to earn.
that is what they had suggested, and other places we've talked to, it goes up to 15%, so it's actually higher. And Metro West has a program ready to implement. So I think there's much less of a startup time as well.
And who else? Are they doing this for any other community?
Yes, I think they're doing it for Hudson, for Newton, and they're in discussions with several other towns as well.
And it's a one-time fee per household. It's not every month that you help a
Correct.
household.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have enough staff that's familiar, would be able to implement this quickly enough?
Yes, yes, they do.
Especially if they end up taking on a lot of other communities?
That is what they have assured us, yes.
And this will all be after town meeting would have to authorize.
This would be now. We
Oh,
could
this could be
authorize
now.
it as the trust with our
Right.
80 grand.
Okay.
Then separately, our hope
Separately for
is
the
that the CPC would recommend additional funds, because we think the need is going to continue.
So we could keep it going even bigger. Like when you say 25, that's your estimate using the money that we already have to start with now.
80,000.
But
Right.
you're imagining this could get bigger if we
It
could
could.
get that approval.
Should the
It could really
CPC,
help people in this time period.
yes, yeah,
like that.
it could, yeah. Should the CPC have a good discussion this coming Tuesday and sponsor it, should we get a warrant article, should we actually have town meeting on June 22nd, which is an open question, then conceivably we could have
Right.
additional funds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anybody reaching out to the town at this point saying that they're in need of assistance? Are we having any?
We've heard rumblings. We know folks are out there. And I'm sure should the trust authorize this, and should this go live in the next several weeks, I'm sure there's going to be overwhelming interest.
Wayne, years ago, we talked, the trust did about rental assistance programs. And I thought there was an issue about the fact that it doesn't generate a permanent deed restriction.
Yeah.
So what, did CHAPA talk about that at the workshop? Has there been any discussion about that? How do we, what's going on there?
Yes, interestingly, they no longer seem terribly concerned about that. So I'm like, okay, thanks guys, good to know.
Okay, I wondered if there, any kind of guidance or.
Yes, yeah. So
Of the same thing.
they're of the opinion that you can, and that's actually part of the reason it has to be short term, though. It can't be a perpetual thing. They maintain, and the Community Preservation Act Coalition says, and I believe DOR, Department of Revenue, concurs that yes, CPA funds and municipal affordable housing trust funds can be used for short-term grant assistance. And for CPA funds, they have to be for income qualified applicants at 100% or below area median income. And the program that we're contemplating would be 80% or below area median income, in keeping with basically every other affordable program that we do in Easton. Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a question then. So if they're saying we could do this right now, as long as it's temporary, so in other circumstances going forward that may not be coronavirus related, we could still potentially do this temporarily if we wanted to, or is it just
my understanding
scenario?
Yes, that you can offer temporary rental assistance. I think the trust could have a constructive conversation in several months post emergency if it seems like a really valuable program to offer or reoffer. But yes, well, my understanding is that that is true. That could be something that a municipal affordable housing trust could offer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Suddenly everybody's getting creative, which is a good thing.
Lots of creativity happening right now.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
So I think what I'd be looking for, and I've written out a draft vote, and Imai, please weigh in if this sounds like it hits all the points that we might need. So I'm looking for a vote to authorize up to $80,000 from the carry forward account for the purpose of funding an emergency rental assistance program, to approve and contract with Metro West Collaborative, to approve a contract with Metro West Collaborative to administer an emergency rental assistance program pending review and approval by Town Council, and to authorize the Affordable Housing Trust Chair, Nikki Dastumian, to sign any documents necessary for such funding, contract, or program.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to authorize up to $80,000 from the carry forward account for the purpose of funding an emergency rental assistance program, to approve a contract with Metro West Collaborative to administer an emergency rental assistance program pending review and approval by Town Council, and to authorize the Affordable Housing Trust Chair, Nikki Dastumian, to sign any documents necessary for such funding, contract, or program. Amy.
Okay, I did have one other question.
Yes, ma'am.
Just about the application or the draft application or draft guidelines, I guess. Yep. Can I just ask you that? I saw under eligible household. Yep. I just want to clarify. So it's one that has reduced income because of COVID and earns less than 80%. Is that?
Yes, and I think with that, you can show that you are earning less than 80% because of your COVID reduction.
Okay, but it doesn't say, I just didn't know if it was, yeah, it's got to be 80%.
Yeah.
Okay, they're right, yeah. See,
but right that could be a newer thing because of what you're temporarily going through from being laid off or so forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. My question was, it just doesn't.
It's definitely an and.
Yeah, it's definitely an and. Okay, got it.
I see it as an and. Otherwise, it would have,
yeah, right.
One that, and then it has to have all three of those bulletins. It doesn't say anywhere or, so I read that as definitely an and.
Okay. Wayne, maybe you can let them pass that along. That's I just don't think it's clear that
We
when
can-
you
we
read that
can,
eligibility.
yeah,
It
we
just
can
should say and
add-
or, and the third bullet is actually a not eligible thing, so.
Right.
Yep, so we could just amend that if you want to say is one that, you know, we're gonna add the and, or we could, inclusive of all, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
I
can-
mean, and works, I just,
Yep.
Yeah, we can change the document a little bit.
this is their document, right? I mean, they're gonna,
Yeah, I amended it a bit to update it with Easton's 80% AMI numbers down at the
Okay.
bottom, and the grant amounts that we're contemplating. And I think I even put you guys up at the top, maybe. I can't remember.
And you have to live in Easton. That says that somewhere, right?
It does.
Oh,
I think technically it does not say you have to live in Easton, but it has to be for a housing unit you live in Easton. So yeah.
okay. I just was missing where that, but I assumed, but I wasn't seeing it there. Okay.
Yeah, and we can definitely clarify that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's for a unit in Easton that's someone's primary home.
Right.
oh, so they'll do and they do the lottery via Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have they done one yet? Like, have they gotten that far?
They're gonna, I think, Jennifer was saying that their first one is going to be Newton, 4 grants paid July 1. So she said that's when we talked about a week and a half ago, she said that was going to be their first community.
Mhm.
And she also said that they're doing one in Hudson, definitely.
Okay, do you want me to go back to roll call? Are we
Um,
all,
Yeah, I think so. And I think the
Yeah.
motion can stand as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so Amy Rodriguez, aye.
Okay. And then who else do we have? I'm trying to go in order by what I see on the screen. Oh, thanks, Eli. Nikki,
Nikki Sumi and I.
Chris Ann,
Sanchidi, aye.
Chuck,
Chuck King, aye.
Sam,
Samantha Hill, I.
and Stephanie.
Stephanie Alves, aye.
Awesome. Thank you. Great.
Any other pertinent items that we have not anticipated?
Yes. Imai, have you remembered?
You're
Um,
muted.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Re-upping for folks whose terms are coming to an
Oh.
end.
Yeah. Forgot, right.
I don't know if other folks were copied, but we got an email from the town clerk that various members of various boards and commissions, their terms are expiring. And for the Affordable Housing Trust, folks with expiring terms are
Me.
Yep, it's
Yes, right, me.
Pam, Stephanie, and Amy. So
We did. I got an email with directions, but I honestly didn't read it yet.
will you entertain re-upping?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
But I assume it's going to be a little bit different, like the swearing in part, but I assumed there were details on there, or maybe
I
they're
would
waiting
think
to
so.
see. Because I
There's
think
gonna
it's
be
July 1st, so maybe they're kind of waiting to see what happens in the next
probably.
chunk of time, like everything else where we don't have answers to anything.
So, but
Up in the
you
air.
do have to get the application in by June 1st, I believe is what I saw.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I'll
Which I
get to
can't
that.
find right now, but it
Yeah.
was there.
And
Okay.
are you contemplating doing it as well, Amy?
I am, yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
Stephanie, not to put you on the spot down there. Are you contemplating?
Well,
No, I've already done it.
Oh, you have.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Very much.
You're
That's
welcome.
nice. Thanks.
We're still missing a member, correct?
We are. Anybody have anyone who wants to join?
I'll circle back in. I keep on trying.
Okay. Please reach out to folks you think may be constructive and good additions. But thank you. Yeah. Cool. I guess, are we done?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, so then what, we need a motion and a second to adjourn and then a roll call vote to adjourn, and then ECAT turns us off, right?
Yeah, what do you want to do about it, the next meeting? Do you want to just go as we,
We'll just call one if we need one. I mean,
okay,
not that I don't love you guys, but hopefully we won't need to do this anytime real soon.
Sadly.
Yeah.
well, will you let us know what the, what's going on with Metro West, and, because that, yeah, that's a great thing, so
Yeah, I'll
get it out there, right?
folks. Do we have
Thank you for everyone to signing in and taking some time today, because
Oh yeah.
can do some real work for real help for some people here.
Yeah, it's really
Exciting.
Thank you all for taking the time, and hopefully by doing it remotely, it's a little less difficult for a lot of folks to attend, especially those of you with young and new.
There are definitely some pros to it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See him.
I will make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Amy Rodriguez, aye.
Okay, Nikki,
Nikki Nastumi and I.
Chrisanne,
Chrisanne Sheedy, aye.
Chuck,
Chuck King, aye.
Sam,
Samantha Hill, aye.
and Stephanie.
Stephanie Alves, aye.
Thanks. We're adjourned.
Just in time for Stephanie.
All right, yeah.
Right.
Thanks,
Nice
everybody.
to meet
Thank you,
you, everybody.
guys.
Thanks all,
Hope
nice
they'll
to meet
actually
you
see you in
too.
person
Bye.
one day.
Yes,
All
All
right.
right.
good luck.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.